What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining me right here on Outside the Brand. This is your AEW Dynamite post show for January 4th, 2023. I am your host, Phil, and of course, this is Outside the Brand. Thank you so much for joining me right here on your Wednesday nights, wherever you may be. Guys, it is a brand new year. I hope you guys enjoyed your New Year's celebration. If you guys celebrated, I hope you guys have enjoyed the new year as we are bringing it on in here into 2023. I hope you guys enjoyed the Monday Night Raw that happened just 2 nights ago. I thought it was a very good show, but obviously, if you guys did not hear, I'm pretty sure everybody has heard, but there was a lot more things going on Monday night instead of Monday Night Raw with the Monday Night Football game and, Damar Hamlin. Everything with that kind of took precedence, and at the end of the day, I decided not to do a Monday Night Raw post show out of respect for Damar, mainly because of the fact that I was just really not focused on Monday Night Raw when I saw the just terrible, terrible situation that happened to him, and yeah, so we decided not to do a Monday Night Raw post show. I did not do a Tuesday talk yesterday, mainly because of the fact that we were all watching New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom 17 event that happened earlier on, way earlier on this morning, at around 3 o'clock in the morning. And I then decided to just, we're not gonna do a review of that. We're just gonna be doing a review of AEW Dynamite from tonight. And man, oh man, was Dynamite tonight an incredible show. From top to bottom, this show was absolutely just amazing. We had a tag team title match. We had Bryan Danielson in action in front of his home state of Washington. Darby Allin is now the new TNT champion after defeating Samoa Joe for the championship in his hometown. Dynamite was just on fire tonight, and I love the new presentation. I love the new look. I love the new stage. The new stage of AEW Dynamite is just absolutely beautiful. People are already drawing comparisons to the SmackDown stage that happened in, I believe, it was either 2019, where it had like, I'm gonna pull up the picture. Uh, you guys saw me tweet about it. If you guys follow me on Twitter, uh, people are already drawing comparisons to this SmackDown stage. That I mean, people are just comparing it to that one. The fact of the matter is, listen, people are always going to draw comparisons to WWE, and you know what, that is, that's just up to them. At this point, I'm sick and tired of trying to bring a company down just to lift another one up. I'm just done with that. I am here in 2023, and I love professional wrestling. I love both WWE and AEW. Why can't we just all love both and just enjoy professional wrestling at its finest? I loved everything about the show tonight. Everything from top to bottom was just fantastic. The MJF and Bryan Danielson stuff, we'll definitely get into that because people are already, doubting what is to come when it comes to that. So I have no idea what you have to be doubting about. It's going to be an absolute banger match at Revolution in February. I have no idea what the hell is there to doubt about, but you know what, we're here and we're going to be talking about it. The crowd tonight, I have to give a huge shout out to my man Michael, who was at AEW Dynamite tonight. Listen, bro, I'm pretty sure you're not watching this, but at the end of the day, I appreciate you going to, I believe this was your first ever AEW Dynamite tonight. You witnessed history tonight, brother. And, at the end of the day, that crowd of Seattle, Washington absolutely killed it. You guys are into everything about the show tonight, like Terrence is saying. in the live chat. You guys are absolutely involved in the show from beginning to end. You guys enjoyed absolutely everything about the show. You guys killed it tonight. And I think of you as a dear, dear friend, Michael, and you always have my back. I'm always gonna have yours. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's Dynamite tonight, and more to come, more to come. Because if there's one thing that Tony Khan is very, very good at, is that he can go into a new frontier, right? He can go into a city that he's never been in before, like Seattle, Washington, and he can hit it out of the fucking park every single freaking time. Tony Khan goes into a new he ventured into unmarked territory for AEW, right? This was the first time AEW ever traveled to Seattle, basically ever been to Washington, and they killed it. They absolutely killed it tonight. Everything about it tonight. Everything about the show from top to bottom was top notch, and we are going to go over everything about it. You, my friend, witnessed history tonight with not only the new TNT champion, but the absolute scare of the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. I legitimately thought that we were going to be having Jeff freaking Jarrett and Jay Lethal as the AEW World Tag Team Champions, but obviously Aubrey Edwards and a bunch of other referees came down to basically set the record straight and restart the match for Seattle. And the Acclaimed are still your are still your AEW Tag Team Champions. Congratulations, man, on such an amazing occasion. When it comes to AEW Dynamite tonight, you witnessed an absolutely amazing show, and I can't wait to hear from you when when you make videos and just have fun with it, man. You had fun. It was a great show, and I can't wait to see what happens next week at the Kia Forum in uh in Los Angeles. It's going to be an amazing show. That show's already stacked from top to frickin' bottom. We'll go over what was announced at the end of the show, at the end of the post show tonight. But let's get right into the AEW Dynamite post show right here on OTB. If you guys like what you heard so far, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. That way you never miss when we go live. We go live every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday for you guys. And we will be a lot more consistent over here on the OTB channel. 2022 was an amazing year for us. As we all know, we are into 600s of subscribers. We are shooting for 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2023. I know we can do it. I absolutely know that we can do it. If I didn't believe we can do it, the channel would not be, existing today. So we're going to reach 1K subscribers by the end of 2023. We're going to hit that. We're going to hit it before then. But yeah, I mean, this show was just from top to bottom incredible. So hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell for all notifications. That way you never miss when we go live. And follow us all on social media. All the TikTok links are down in the description below. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at PhillyMatt_. And yeah, you guys can also go get the merchandise. Merch store is now updated. Till January 8th, you guys can go use the code OTB30 for 30% off your purchase at Teespring, the official home of OTB and its merchandise. OTB30, the code is in the chat. Go get your merchandise today. We got phone cases, we got t-shirts, we got hoodies, we got coffee mugs, we got pint glasses. We got a lot more in store for you guys over there on Teespring, the official home of OTB and its merchandise. The link to the merch store is in the description below. Go get your merchandise today and use OTB30 for 30% off your purchase till January 8th. All right, guys. let's get right into the post show. Okay, let's get right into the show. We have a lot to go over tonight. Amazing show throughout the entire night tonight. We started off the show with Ricky Starks taking on Y2J, not Y2J. We had Chris Jericho versus Ricky Starks, and man, was this just incredible. From top to bottom, I loved everything about the match tonight. I tweeted about it. Chris Jericho liked the tweet, so Chris Jericho knows that I exist once again. I just thought it was an amazing match. I tweeted out, and I'm gonna read the tweet here because this is legitimately how I felt throughout the entire um, time I was just live tweeting throughout the show. I thought it was an incredible match. I said, what a match. Jericho put on a banger with a young stud in Ricky Starks. That's exactly what the new AEW, that's exactly what the new era of AEW Dynamite needed. Jericho does what he does best, and that's make people look like bona fide superstars. Ricky Starks picks up a huge win on Dynamite tonight. Hashtag AEW Dynamite. So yeah, I thought it was an incredible match from top to bottom. I thought what Jericho did was great. I thought obviously Ricky Starks, he is incredible at what he does. Just from top to bottom, I thought the match pacing was really good. I thought, the way that Jericho goes about things, it's just awesome. And Ricky Starks, he is truly coming into his own when it comes to just who he is, not only on the microphone but in that ring. We all know he is just an absolute megastar, just waiting to just burst out, and it is just an incredible sight to see. So we come back from commercial break. Starks counters a lion salt, puts the knees up for a lion salt. He then trades shots with Jericho. Jericho counters. And Starks winds up in the walls of Jericho. Angelo Parker then distracts the referee, and Maynard nails Starks with the baseball bat. Floyd. Starks continues to persevere, and he pins Jericho with the spear and gets the win 1, 2, 3. And Ricky Starks picks up a huge victory on AEW Dynamite tonight. After that, the JAS then attack Ricky Starks. Action Andretti. I love how they're using this kid. I love how Action Andretti he's legitimately become not a household name. I mean, he's still fairly new to the AEW crowd, but at least Action Andretti is getting used and utilized a lot on AEW television. Action Andretti came out. He tried to make the save, but the numbers game obviously overwhelmed him. Jake Hager powerbombs Starks through a table from the ring apron to the floor. And, brutal spot right there. And, yeah, we're going to get something going between JAS, Action Andretti, and Ricky Starks. A lot of people were trying to figure out what Ricky Starks was going to be doing after his loss to MJF when it comes to the World Championship match that he had. And I have to say, him mixing it up with the JAS is it's not what I thought was going to happen. But at the end of the day, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at him going after or the JAS really going after not only Action Andretti but Ricky Starks. I think it's just a great way to have Ricky Starks at least be utilized in some sort of program on AEW Dynamite, because the worst thing that could have possibly happened was him losing to MJF at Winter is Coming, and then just to never see from him again, just to never see from And at least he is doing something productive in a feud with Chris Jericho and the rest of the Jericho. So very good. And I think we are going to be in for a treat when it comes to that match. Whatever that happens, I think we could get Jericho and Ricky Starks uh, at Revolution, maybe, or some sort of tag match, or maybe some sort of thing where it's all a JAS versus a team of Ricky Starks, Action Andretti, and some people that they recruit. Who knows? Who knows? But either way, we're going to get something good at AEW Revolution in February, and I can't wait to see what they do from there. So then we had an in-ring segment with Hangman Adam Page. Hangman Adam Page, as we all know, is still suffering from the concussion, but he is on his way back. We are here to get some sort of a resolution. We're here to get some sort of a plan as to see when Hangman Adam Page could return to action after everything that happened to him. So Page is asked whether he is cleared to compete or not. He says that he's not cleared today, but if he goes home and gets another brain scan, he could be cleared in time for next week in Los Angeles, coincidentally. So he will be able to face Jon Moxley next week. Hangman vows to knock Moxley's dick into the dirt. And no, I'm not just saying that just to say that. He legitimately said that he would knock his dick into the dirt. Okay. Moxley then comes to the ring and says that he is tired of all the sympathy for Page. He says that he has to eat plates of crap so he doesn't have any sympathy for Hangman. In fact, he tells Page his complaining makes him sick. Hangman then counters by stating that he's been knocked out plenty of times. He's been knocked out by Moxley, nearly took his career from him. He's been he then made a joke about it. Hangman makes it clear that he is here for revenge, and he's going to get that next week. Moxley calls Page a punk ass and says he's going to make sure Page stays down next week. This is just incredible. Everything about this is fucking incredible. I thought from top to fucking bottom when it comes to this, angle of Hangman Adam Page and Jon Moxley, I would not change a single thing about it. I really wouldn't. I would not change a single thing, mainly because of the fact they took a real life situation of Hangman Page getting knocked out and being concussed in their first go around and turned it around into some sort of story with old school style booking, and it just fit the mold perfectly. I would change absolutely nothing about this whole Hangman Adam Page and Jon Moxley storyline. It's been put to absolute perfection. And like I said, they made some sort of unfortunate real life circumstance that happened with Hangman Adam Page and Jon Moxley their first time around, and they turned it to absolute gold. They turned it to gold, and that promo set the perfect stage for January 11th at the Kia Forum next week in LA. And that match that they're going to have next week is just going to be amazing. It's going to be absolutely perfect, and I can't wait to see it. Hope you guys are going to tune in next week, because next week's Dynamite, oh boy, you're not going to want to miss it. You are definitely not going to want to miss it. Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned, because that, oh my god. We then had the AEW World Tag Team titles on the line as the Acclaimed defended against Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. This match scared the fuck out of me. This match scared the fuck out of me. Mainly because at first, Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal won the titles. I know. I didn't stutter there. Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal were the AEW Tag Team Champions for at least a little while. Uh, so they won the titles, and then obviously Aubrey Edwards, she came down to the ring to tell the actual referee who was doing the calling for the match, saying, "Listen, Satnam, he pushed Caster's foot off the ropes because he had his foot on the ropes to get a rope break, but the referee didn't see it." So they told Dasha to say that the match is going to continue and basically be restarted. And with that, Jarrett and Lethal hit Bowens with a double team move. Singh slams Caster into the steel steps. Satnam, that is. Satnam and Dutt get ejected from the ringside area, and the numbers of the referee came out to escort them out of the building. Bowens encounters the lethal injection, but Jarrett hits the stroke. He gets a 3 count as, like I said, Dutch shoves Bowens' foot off the ropes. Aubrey, like I said, reversed the decision, and the match was continuing. Bowens then rolls up Lethal for the win, basically after, Jeff Jarrett was arguing with the referees, but obviously that was null and void at that point because he was going to go for a roll-up 1, 2, 3, and that was it. The Acclaimed retain their tag team titles. A very scary situation. I thought we were actually going to have new tag team champions, and still, your AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Acclaimed. Thank God. Thank God, because Tony, I was going to be very mad. I was going to be very mad if you had Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal become the tag team champions. Now, next week, not next week, but on Friday's Rampage, we will have the AEW World Tag Team titles on the line again, but this time it'll be in a no-holds-barred match. Don't worry, guys. The Acclaim should still retain those titles, and they will go unscathed going into this Friday for Rampage and Battle of the Belts 5, I think we're at now. Battle of the Belts 5 was announced for this Friday, right after AEW Rampage, so we'll see where that goes. But the fact of the matter is, all of those titles are going to be defended at Battle of the Belts 5 are going to be retained anyway. So you guys are not going to have to worry about that. But after that, we had an interview with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Jamie Hayter. Britt Baker said that Saraya has never understood what AEW meant. Jamie Hayter says that Saraya doesn't get what AEW means to her and vice versa. Baker discusses their road to success. Baker points out that there is some great options within AEW's women's division, so she doesn't understand why Saraya hasn't picked a partner yet. She calls herself the Pillar and Hayter the Killer. Now, they obviously, in these notes, forgot to mention that Britt Baker said that she was the boss of the women's division. You see where I'm going at there? The boss. Sasha Banks was known as the boss in WWE. Now, obviously, Mercedes Moné, she made her debut at Wrestle Kingdom 17 earlier on in the day. Way earlier on in the day, I should say. Yeah, so there was a little bit of a tease for Sasha Banks for next week's Dynamite. We'll see if Mercedes goes to Dynamite next week. And yeah, so we'll see where things go from there. But do I expect it? No. Do I want it? Kind of. It's a very, very weird situation, and I know people don't want it to happen. I know people don't want it to happen, but if it does happen, I'm not going to be shocked a single bit. Looks like we're actually going to be having some guests here, so I will invite them to the show, and we will go on with them on the show. So yeah, I'll tell them what we covered so far, and I'll get their opinions, and then we can just move on. Yeah. Like I said, if we get Mercedes on next week's show, I'm not going to be shocked at all, but I'm not going to expect it. Like, I'm not going to, say, like, hey, she's coming to Dynamite next week. Like, I'm not going to, full on. Oh, never mind. Okay, hold on. Hold on a second, guys. There we go. So yeah, like I said, if she shows up, I'm not gonna be shocked. If she doesn't, oh well, it happens. But yeah, we'll get into what happened with Saraya earlier on in later on in the night, because what Saraya did, I have to say, that was a bit shitty. That was a bit shitty what she did, but we'll get into that in due time. But what we do have to get into, what's going on, Enigma? What's going on, brother? Yeah, so Britt Baker, she kind of made a little hint to Mercedes on Dynamite tonight, but we'll see where things go from there. If it happens, it happens. If not, it doesn't. But yeah, so we're good to go there. We had an interview with Jungle Boy Jack Perry. He discusses a feud with Big Bill and Lee Moriarty, and challenges them to a tag match where he'd join forces with Hook for one night only. So looks like we could be getting that next week. And yeah, we'll see where things go from there. Yeah, should be a good tag match. But we then got into the match with Bryan Danielson, Washington's own Bryan Danielson, taking on Tony Nese with Smart Mark Sterling and Josh Woods. This match purely for the sake of Bryan Danielson being in front of his hometown. Not hometown, but home state. If people have a problem with him being in front of his home state of Washington, then you know what? You just leave. Just leave, honestly, because you guys don't have any business being here. This was easily, just like a sentimental win for Bryan, just to get him in front of his home state, and you're good to go. Loved it. Loved every single thing about it. A very short match because it's Tony Nese, and I don't mean that in a disparaging way towards Tony. I think Tony is great, but when Bryan Danielson's in his home state of Washington, Bryan's winning that 10 times out of 10. Bryan's winning that 10 times out of 10. So, Danielson gets huge pop from Seattle. Oh my God. I have not heard those yes chants be so loud since the Yes Movement. Since the beginning of the Yes Movement, and I think the beginning of the Yes Movement was when Bryan turned on Bray Wyatt inside the steel cage, and he was standing on top of the steel cage doing the whole yes gesture. That to me was the beginning of the Yes Movement. Um, Obviously, people call back to when he was holding Raw under siege with everybody in the WWE ring, like basically the crowd filling up with the yes chants, and just the crowd filling up the ring with people from the Yes Movement and all that stuff. Like people usually call that the beginning of the Yes Movement, but I certainly call the Yes Movement being uh, basically beginning at that steel cage match where he was doing the yes movement, yes gesture on top of the steel cage when he turned on Bray. So, and basically shed the skin of the Wyatt family. So, really good match here though with Bryan and Tony. Danielson gets the huge power from the Seattle crowd. An early distraction from Woods helps Nese take control early on. Danielson then he fires up with some chops and kicks. He takes Nese down with an elbow strike. Danielson then drills Nese with a signature running knee, the Bukkake knee. He stomps Nese's head in and makes him tap out to the Regal stretch and got the win there. Danielson then gets on the microphone and says that it's great to be home. He's ready for another fight, so MJF, get your ass out here. He comes out, coincidentally, does MJF, and calls Bryan. I shouldn't be fucking laughing at this because it's legitimately true. He called Bryan brain damaged Bryan again. I hate that I'm laughing at that, but it's MJF. He's just so fucking perfect. The AEW World Champion says that he does not get his rocks off by wrestling, as he doesn't care about these fans. He then says Danielson is less charismatic than a hypothetical offspring of Lance Storm and Dean Malenko. He says that Danielson looks like a goat, but that doesn't mean that he is the greatest of all time. MJF then implies Danielson's mom slept with a goat so that he could be reproduced. Jesus Christ, I love MJF. I fucking love MJF. Okay, so yeah, so apparently she slept with a goat so that Danielson could be reproduced. Danielson then responds by saying that MJF's mom had enough human suitors to fill the whole arena. MJF counters by saying that the fans who had never been in the business made him, whereas MJF himself has been putting himself over by Disco Inferno, Jim Cornette, and Eric Bischoff. Danielson says that he hates MJF and challenges him to a fight. MJF pumps the brakes and tells Danielson that he needs to become a top contender first to earn an AEW World Championship opportunity. MJF says that he talked to Tony Khan and said that Danielson will have to wrestle week in and week out every single week until February 8th in order to become the number one contender. He has to win every single match until then as well. Danielson initially turns him down, but he then changes his mind when MJF says that he runs this company. Danielson names the stipulation of the title match assuming that he wins each and every single match to get to the title match at AEW Revolution. Danielson named the stipulation to be a 60-minute Iron Man match. That's right, 60 minutes, 6-0 Iron Man match. MJF accepts, and Danielson says that he is going to expose MJF for who he really is. He then says that he is going to kick MJF's head in and become the new AEW World Champion. How could you not like anything that Bryan and MJF are doing right now? How could you not? Everything about this fucking promo was perfect. Everything about it. We are going to be getting Bryan every single week from here on out until February 8th. So that is going to be incredible. We're going to be seeing at least basically 4 more matches. Or basically 5 more matches. February 8th is on a Wednesday too. So basically 5 more matches for Bryan, week in and week out. Yeah, it's just going to be absolutely incredible. I tweeted during all of this as well, and I said, in a quote, let me get to my tweet here. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, as I do the whole live tweets each and every single time AEW is on the air, just go follow me. @PhillyMount_ is the exact same Twitter handle, and just tweet with me, talk with me during the show. It's a lot of fun. I said, how could you not like the program between Bryan Danielson and MJF? This was absolute gold. Bryan Danielson challenged MJF to an Iron Man match at AEW Revolution for the world title. MJF agreed, and as long as Bryan is undefeated until February 8th, he will get the match. This is just incredible from top to bottom. I cannot wait to see what we have in store. And next week at the Kia Forum, we have Bryan's first match. And Bryan's first match is going up against Konosuke Takeshita. Konosuke Takeshita versus Bryan Danielson at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles on January 11th. All right, Bryan, here we are. You got to go undefeated February 8th to get your AEW World Championship matchup. Now, AEW Revolution doesn't happen until March 5th. So, they said in the stipulation that he has to go undefeated until February 8th. So, I mean, that's what was said. That is what was said. So, February 8th. We got 5 weeks. 5 matches for Bryan during those 5 weeks, and he'll become the number 1 contender, and he will get the Iron Man match with MJF at Revolution on March 5th. So, that is what was said. And we will see where things go from there. But his first match is going up against Takeshita. Going to be an absolute classic on January 11th at the Kia Forum. It's just going to be perfect. I freaking loved everything about it. We then had, so what happened after this was a little sit-down interview with Renee Paquette, Saraya, Tony Storm, and Hikaru Shida. Shida and Tony Storm were by Saraya's side. She was really Saraya was really talking to Renee Paquette about what she is going to be doing next week at the Kia Forum when she takes on Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter in a tag team match but she still has not yet to pick a partner for that tag team match. Now, she was going back and forth with, just trying to figure out who it was going to be. She told us that AEW has the best women's roster on the planet right now. They have the best matches, and she's sitting next to two of the greatest wrestlers going today. And then she turns over to Tony Storm and legitimately turns her body to Tony Storm with the back turned to Sheeta. And she basically said, "Fuck you," to Sheeta. Because Tony Storm, I am picking you as my tag team partner next week against Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. Because I've seen you ever since AEW Grand Slam and I made my debut and we have great chemistry, so I'm picking you. And by that, she was basically saying, yeah, fuck you to Hikaru Shida. And ever so promptly, Shida then tweets out after the segment, what was this? What the fuck? She tweeted WTF hashtag AEW Dynamite. So what I'm predicting is the way this entire thing was going down, this was totally not the right way to go about it, and I think they did this on purpose. Now, what I do think is going to happen is Tony Storm is definitely not going to be the one teaming with Saraya next week on Dynamite. She is definitely not going to be the one to team with Saraya. What I think is going to happen, and I want you guys to, just bear with me. I understand you guys don't want this to happen. I understand you guys don't want what I'm about to say to happen. I get that. And you know what? That is perfectly fine. If you guys don't want that to happen, that is perfectly up to you guys. That is up to your prerogative. Just hear me out. What I'm saying is the way that Sheeta, was going about things, her mannerisms, her body language, and everything like that. She was not up for whatever Saraya was cooking during that segment. So what I think is sometime before the match happens on Dynamite, Tony Storm is going to be attacked. We don't know who it's going to be. It's obviously going to be Hikaru Shida. It's either going to be blatantly Hikaru Shida just attacks Tony Storm out of pure rage and frustration that she was not the one picked, or we're going to cut back to the backstage area where Tony Storm is certainly not ready to compete tonight. She is laid out by somebody, Shida, and she was just not going to be able to compete tonight. Now, that'll lead to Saraya trying to find somebody all throughout the rest of the night, trying to figure out, all right, who's going to be my tag team partner? How the hell am I going to be able to find a tag team partner on such short notice? That's when we hear the debut of Mercedes Moné. Now, I know, I understand. Mercedes Moné just debuted tonight, or this morning, at Wrestle Kingdom 17. I understand that, and she is going to have a match at Battle of the Valley, I believe in February, with Kairi for the New Japan's, or the IWGP Women's Championship, or New Japan Pro Wrestling's Women's Championship, whatever it goes by now. I understand she has that match with Kairi, and I 100% get that. Do I think this is going to happen, and am I saying that this is going to happen? Am I saying just purely outright that Mercedes Moné is going to be showing up next week on AEW Dynamite at the Kia Forum? No, I'm not saying that. I am not saying that this is definitely going to happen. This is just what I am predicting. This is just what I think could happen. I'm not saying that this will happen. I'm just saying that this could happen in the sense of, with the way that this was all planned out, with the way that this was all just laid out in front of us. A heel turn for Hikaru Shida would be the absolute perfect situation for her to not only just get something going for herself, because at the end of the day, Shida has not been, it's not that she hasn't been doing hot, it's just the fact that we haven't been seeing much of her. So having a heel turn for Shida would be a great change of direction for herself, and at the end of the day, we would get a great match regardless of how things would play out. So I think that's just how it's going to be. Will it happen? Most likely not. Could it happen? Possibly. Who knows? So then, we then go into a match between Shane Strickland, not Shane Strickland, oh my god, Swerve Strickland, Swerve Strickland, versus AR Fox. This is incredible. This was a great match. I did not think this match was going to be as long as it was, but they really gave this one time, and I actually really liked the way that things were going about it. Swerve obviously picked up the win here with the Swerve Stomp, and it was a 1-2-3. Swerve hit, and he hit like an avalanche Death Valley driver, but it was basically an AA from the second rope to the ring apron. Looked like it broke AR Fox in half. It looked like it was fucking brutal to take. It looked like it absolutely sucked, to be completely blunt with you guys. But at the end of the day, Swerve did win with the Swerve Stomp and got the win. So we're good to go there. After that match, the Guns came out to the ring, and they had a tombstone reading on the Titantron that read FT RIP. Yeah. If you guys don't know, FTR lost the IWGP Tag Team titles earlier on today at Wrestle Kingdom 17, so they have no tag team titles. In a matter of a month, they lost all 3 of their tag team championship gold. So they honor their careers, but they look back at their downfalls. They then claim that FTR can work in any promotion, but they will never work in AEW again. Now, this obviously goes to the reports of them not going to be a part of AEW anymore. They want to go back to WWE, or at least that is what's being reported. So we'll see what happens there. If we do not get to see FTR in AEW again, you know what? I wish them all the best of luck if they take a break, or if they, just go back to WWE, which is what's being reported. I fully support them, because Triple H is going to be treating them a hell of a lot better than what the past regime did. So I'm fine with this. It's just the fact of the matter is we got to actually figure out what's going on right now. So, yeah. So then we had Kira Hogan and Sky Blue versus Jade Cargill and Red Velvet. This was like, what, 7 minutes? Maybe even less. I don't know. I really didn't care for the match. So Hogan she rolls Cargill up for the count of 2 as Velvet she stepped down from the ring apron when Cargill was going to go for a tag. And yeah, the baddies are just imploding right before our very eyes. And Velvet walks out on her partner in Jade Cargill. Jade then gets the win with a pump kick to not Sky Blue. The other one, Kira Hogan. She pump kicked Kira Hogan and got the win 1-2-3, and that was it. That's all she wrote. And like I said, the baddies are imploding right in front of our very eyes. It's either going to be Red Velvet that takes the TBS championship off of Jade, or it is going to be Kira Hogan that does that. I'm fine with either of those two. What I really wanted was Chris Statlander, but obviously Chris got injured, and that kind of derailed a lot of things. But once Chris gets back, hopefully she does get what she deserves, and that could be a TBS title opportunity. But the fact of the matter is, I think it will be either Red Velvet or Kira Hogan that takes the title off of Jade when it is time. She will get to 50-0, and that is when we'll most likely be getting the real story for March 5th at Revolution. I think she loses the title at Revolution. I'm not gonna lie. I think Jade Cargill loses the title at Revolution to either Red Velvet or Kira Hogan. Tony just has to figure out which person he's going to give it to, and we'll see where things go from there. So I'm going to be excited for it. We'll see what happens to the TBS Championship after the Jade Cargill reign, because the Jade Cargill reign really put the TBS title up to prominence. But what's the TBS title going to look like after Jade Cargill is no longer the TBS champion? That is what I'm really going to try to look forward to, or at least try to look towards, because that's really going to be the deciding factor of how the TBS title is going to be utilized moving forward, heading into the years of not only just 2023, but beyond. So we'll see. We then had the TNT Championship main event, Samoa Joe defending against Darby Allin. Really good match here from top to bottom. I thought this match was fantastic. Do I agree with the decision of Darby Allin winning the TNT title? No, I don't. And I know people are probably going to be upset with me on that, and that's perfectly fine. But I'm not. I'm not about it. I'm not. I thought Samoa Joe should have had a way longer TNT championship reign. Excuse me. And I think that's just the way I'd like to go about it. If there was one title that you need to take off of Samoa Joe, that was the Ring of Honor World Television Championship, not the TNT title. I would want, if I was Tony Khan, I would want to continue having Samoa Joe look like a fucking killer. Him losing tonight, it's not going to hurt Samoa Joe in any way, because he's still a champion, technically, but, he's champion of a Ring of Honor show that doesn't even have a TV deal yet until, when things actually start getting the ball rolling when it comes to the revitalized Honor Club. But you need to keep him as TNT champion. That's just plain and simple. That's what needed to happen. I understand why they did it. It's obviously Seattle, Washington. It's legitimately Darby Allin's hometown, and I get that. But it was just not the right call. It was not the right call. Darby Allin, he is going to be a fantastic TNT champion. He is now a 2-time TNT champion, if I'm not mistaken. But it's just, I just didn't like the finish. I like the finish. The finish at least made, you know, Samoa Joe looked strong in the end, technically, because he hit an exposed turnbuckle and got hit with 2 coffin drops. So I mean, at the end of the day, he did. At the end of the day, he did lose in some sort of a strong fashion. But at the end of the day, I just didn't like that Samoa Joe lost the title, and that's just me personally. But you guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I understood why they did it. I did, but it just wasn't for me. I just would have liked Samoa Joe to have a little bit longer of a title reign. But really good match here. That does not take away from what they did in the match. The match is absolutely great. And we'll go over what happened in the final stages of the match here. So, Allin briefly rallies But Joe continues to viciously target Allen's leg. Joe then hits a double knee breaker, and Allin is clearly in pain and agony. Allin counters a muscle buster to get a 2 count off a pin attempt. The champion then goes for the cookie in a clutch. Allin escapes, but Joe traps him in a chokehold. Allin then hits a code red and nails a coffin drop to the back of Samoa Joe. He goes back up to the top and hits another coffin drop onto the midsection of Samoa Joe and got the pinfall victory there. 1, 2, 3. And Darby Allin is your new TNT champion. After the match, Sting comes out to the ring and celebrates with Darby Allin. For some reason, I thought, and you guys can let me know in the either live chat or in the chat afterwards when this video is published, I thought Sting was turning heel. I thought Sting's, for some freaking reason, was turning heel. I thought when he was celebrating with Darby, I thought somehow, some way, he was just gonna, he was going to just hook his head and drive him down with the Scorpion Death Drop. I thought something was happening. I thought something was happening there to where Sting was just going to turn on Darby. Now, I don't know why Sting would ever turn on Darby, but the way that looked, I thought something like that was going to go down. That could just be me, but I thought something was going down when it came to that. But obviously, it didn't, and we ended the show happy with Darby Allin winning the TNT Championship. But yeah, guys, that was it. That was your AEW Dynamite tonight. I thought Dynamite was incredible. I thought Dynamite was fantastic. I thought Dynamite from top to bottom was just a perfect show. And I would say a perfect show. I really did not like I really didn't not like anything on the show tonight. I thought everything on the show was really perfectly well booked, and just an overall really, really good show of Dynamite tonight, heading into the new, not regime, because still Tony Khan, but the new era of AEW Dynamite tonight. A very much more professional look for Dynamite, and I'm just really excited to see what's to come for 2023 for AEW. And you know what, guys? We're going to be here each and every single week from here on out, reviewing every single show of AEW Dynamite. You guys are not going to want to miss it. And you guys are not going to want to miss Friday's show, because we'll be doing a Friday Night SmackDown post-show here on OTB. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me right here on OTB. If you guys liked what you heard tonight, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell for all notifications. That way you never miss when we go live. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday for you guys. Go to the link in the description. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @PhillyMatt_. You guys can also follow me on TikTok at @PhillyMatt_, and the rest of the people that are associated with OTB. All those TikTok links are down in the description below. You guys can go to the OTB merchandise store that is on Teespring. So go to the link, use the code OTB30 for 30% today, and go rep OTB wherever you may go. Guys, don't forget Friday Night SmackDown post show this coming Friday on the OTB YouTube channel. You guys are not going to want to miss it. Have a good rest of the night, guys. Stay safe. God bless. And we will see you tomorrow for Friday Night SmackDown. Have a good rest of the night, guys. Stay safe. God bless. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Peace. Have a good night, guys.